MSNBC cancels Joy Reid as part of a major shakeup, and let's be real, this ain't just a regular programming issue.
This is a sign that corporate media is making moves due to the Trump era being reconvened. For years, Joy Reid has been a staple at the MSNBC plantation. I mean, she's been a staple as an attack dog for MSNBC.
Well, here's an alternative thought. Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears. Troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone. You got your heart's desire, the president you dreamed of, and worship instead of Jesus. And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, or try to kill police officers or issue death threats to poll workers. See? You did it just by voting this time. Congrats.
She pushed Democrats' talking points. No matter how ridiculous, no matter how frivolous, no matter how inaccurate, she pushed them like a good soldier. But now, even her own network is done with her. So why? Let's break it down.
Show had value, and that that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I try not to cry on TV. And I say this is kind of like being on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them, or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so,
okay, Joy Reid threw everything against the wall here to try to shift blame for this. And folks, here's the deal, man. There is no blame shifting that's going to work for this. At the end of the day, it's not just her. Look, she did not get terminated because of Gaza, or should have been terminated. People realize it's been over a year. So you didn't lose a job over there. That's not why you didn't get terminated because of Gaza. You didn't get terminated because of immigrants. You didn't get terminated for sticking up for Black people either. You got terminated because people stopped watching you. Okay? And it hasn't just been her. Folks, there's a swing. There's a thing that's happening with media right now, and it's moving away from people like Joy Reid. It's moving away from the center, whatever this is, the center. And that's not working. Liberal media is in trouble. It's not just her. Jim Acosta stepped down. Jim Acosta's gone. CNN anchor Jim Acosta, who had gained a reputation for his antagonizing questions towards Trump during his first term, announced he was leaving the network after 20 years. They did Jim Acosta the same way they did Don Lemon. They moved Acosta from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. They moved that brother from 10 in the morning to 2 in the morning. Damn, you won't leave. You won't leave. What do we got to do to him? I don't know. Put him in the back. Put his desk against the wall. Turn it against the wall. Make him look at the wallpaper. Jesus, what we got to do to this guy? We shamed him. He's sitting at the table, filing his nails, reading his magazines, eating pumpkin seeds. It's a reshuffling of the network. It laid off 6% of its workforce. 6% also ramped up its digital efforts. There's been a general decline in cable news viewership across the board. Everybody on the cable news programming is down. That's on the liberal side of the coin, baby. Everybody's down. It ain't just CNN and MSNBC. It's not just MSNBC. It's also CNN. That's my point, okay? So that's the first thing, okay? So this idea is just Joy Reid is laughable because it's not accurate, okay? I don't know if you noticed or not, Jim Acosta's white guy, he ain't there no more. 3 years ago when they got rid of Don Lemon, it wasn't because he was black, it wasn't because he was gay, got rid of him because his numbers was down. He was difficult, he didn't like it. He didn't like losing his own show to be going on a panel show with a couple women who probably felt like he earned his stripes. He deserves to have his own show. So they humiliated him, and then there was enough. Rubber met the road, and that was all she said. And then for some reason, we got a contingent of black people that when they see something happen to somebody black, they think it's just because they black. And all of a sudden, they get to rewrite history and pretend they spent their whole life as a Black Panther member. All of a sudden, they was, Malcolm X. All of a sudden, they are Dr. Claude Anderson, All of a sudden, they are, somehow, spitting that truth, dropping truth bombs all the time. That's all they do. Stokely Carmichael. James Baldwin, you were not Don Lemon. You were not James Baldwin. We would have told you. But we got people that believe they are because we are so hungry for people to actually fight on our behalf that we will anoint anybody with a tan. The Reid suffered a major slump in ratings since the 2024 election. Nielsen Media research revealed that Reid's show averaged about 750,000 viewers in early December, a 47% decline from 1.4 million. Stephen A's right. Give it up to Stephen A. Okay. She achieved the 1.4 million average leading up to election day. So on February 20, Reid's show was reported to have around 779,000 viewers, while Fox Laura Ingraham had an estimated 3.4 million. Folks, it's unsustainable. This cannot last. You cannot rock like this. Okay? In January, Reid called Trump an insurrectionist over his alleged role in the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol, while describing his return to the White House as an eventual violent transfer of power. Reid posted a video on TikTok in July urging Democrats to support President Joe Biden's re-election campaign to keep Hitler out of the White House. Keep Hitler out of the White House. This is the rhetoric. Listen, this is what happened. And I've been through this myself. When you created an audience with a certain brand and things don't work, you can become vicious. You become vicious. And that only makes things worse because nobody wants to watch vicious unless you're going after the power structure, unless you're going after the powerful. And she was going after Trump, but she couldn't get her jaws. She couldn't bite Trump. She couldn't get him. She couldn't hit him the way she needed to. And what happened was the demoralization. People were demoralized after Trump won a second time. Democrats were demoralized. They just wanted to get away from politics. And all they got is Angry Joy Reid shouting the sky is falling every night. This is not a good recipe. And she had dug a hole so far that she could not come back from it. There was no coming back to her senses. There was no evening out of her message. It get worse and worse. Numbers are getting lower and lower and lower. And at what point do you say, hey, you know what? She ain't going to turn the corner on this. You think they wanted to get rid of her? You don't think they didn't know they were going to hear this? The pushback from people going, this racist. No, that's all Reid talked about is race. Every segment has something to do with Trump being a racist. But she would never call out racism in the Democratic Party or call out racism at her own network. She wouldn't do that. I don't remember doing it. She'll probably do it now. Don't matter now, does it? Anybody can talk about the jobs after they left. You know what they used to do? You know what they used to do to the food in the walk-in? In Popeyes, they used to leave the walk-in food in there for too long, man. I seen them do it. I got a video on my channel. Guy formerly worked at, I think it was the Golden Corral or something. We filmed like the food being left out. First viral video I have on my channel, second viral video on my channel, 2013, was me reporting on a guy at the Golden Corral who worked there, who filmed what they were doing because it was his last day there. And he filmed the atrocities of the back line of the food and how they were keeping the food. That's how Joy Reid can do. Now, you can't blow a whistle when you don't work there no more. Okay, Joy Reid's gonna try to blow a whistle. But guess what, Joy Reid? You can't be a whistleblower when they take your whistle. Okay? That's how that works. You can't be calling yourself a whistleblower. You can't be fighting for the people against the corrupt media only after you lost your cushy-ass job. Everybody want to complain about the job when they don't get to do it no more. And they never quit. Is that because they said, I'm tired of this? That'd be different if Joy Reid said, I'm tired of this, and I'm going to fight for the people. I ain't going to die falling on no ice. I'm going to die fighting for the people. That ain't what Joy Reid said. So please don't have a selective memory about reality. Don Lemon say, I ain't going to die in my bed sleep. Maybe you will. Feds come in. But he didn't say, I ain't going to die in no car crash. Nah, Don Lemon got fired. Chris Rock said it best. Chris Rock said, Biggie and Pac, those brothers didn't get assassinated. Those brothers got shot. Joy Reid, Don Lemon. They got shot. They didn't get assassinated. But they replacing Joy Reid's show with 2 black people and 1 Mexican person, Latino, I guess. So how you gonna say it's race, man? I mean, are we that bad, Johnson? I mean, Simone Sanders is black. Her and Michael Steele are foundational black Americans. And they're replacing Joy Reid, who just told you in the clip, she respects the immigrants because immigrants what she is. Her parents are immigrants and da-da-da-da-da. And you still let it be about race? Y'all still, that's what we're using? She just said, do I gotta rewind it? I don't know, maybe we should rewind it, Tim, because maybe some people weren't paying attention. Maybe that's why they want to make her pariah.
Parents did and try to immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them.
There you go. Get what I'm saying? Simone Sanders, I look, I don't like the way she flip-flop from Bernie Sanders to Kamala Harris to Joe Biden or whatever. That's, she a mercenary. Simone Sanders is a mercenary, okay? It is what it is. But now that I learned more about Bernie, I'm like, okay, I get it. He was full of shit too. She sat there watching him like, look at this guy. I thought he was real. Maybe that's what made her be the way she is. Could be. Simone Sanders might have been a real one. Then she worked with Bernie like, she voted into Bernie and she realized, this guy, he's horrible. Anyway, the point is this. They replaced the tether with 2 foundational black Americans, and you still said they don't like black people. Now, MSNBC may not have a thing for the blacks. I don't know. They keep paying them well, certain ones, but I don't know. They got rid of, what's the name? The one that, you, Tariq Nasheed, listening people, you, Seven Samuels, listening black men, just need to get themselves right. Horrible things she said, talking down to black men like we were garbage. Tiffany Cross, that's her name. There you go. I threw you wrong, Tiffany Cross. You deserve to be memorialized for your stupidity and your rank amateur rants, dissing the only people that really had your back, that you just shitted on them. You thought white women were clapping for you? Never. The point is this, man. This ain't race. If it was race, they would have hired somebody else. They would not be replacing her. They brought more black people with them. But those people that are here, maybe Michael Steele has more credibility in his face of talking about Republicans because he is one. I don't know what it is. Even though he's starting to sound like Roland Martin, I don't know what it is, man. Michael Steele sounding horrible nowadays. That's not the point. The point is, there's a lot of things about Joy Reid. One of those being the ratings. Number two, so that was bad. Number two, they're replacing her with black people, more black people. So you can't say it was a black problem because why are they going to put another black person in? And don't tell me that Simone Sanders is not going, I don't know. They about to do the same type of job. I mean, I don't see much difference in the talking points other than, Simone doesn't get as vicious as Joy Reid. But anyway, Simone Sanders, Michael Steele, and Alicia Mendez, that's the names. The same Democratic narratives, just with new faces. Meanwhile, Jen Psaki, Biden's former press secretary, is getting more airtime. So MSNBC is dumbing down on White House approval media and dumping the voices that aren't landing anymore. That's what they're doing. Jen Psaki's numbers suck. So that point, valid. But nobody will make that point. Rachel got out there, she said a lot, but she didn't say the truth. She didn't say the whole truth. And the whole truth would be Jen Psaki should be gone if it was about ratings. Joy Reid gonna mess around, get MSNBC sued till the brakes come off. And let's keep it real. They gave her a pass, and I knew she was gonna be dumpster juice ever since she got over the fake hacking scandal. This woman they unearthed blog posts where she was saying some homophobic crap that got Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was supposed to host the Oscars. He made one joke about his son. If his son was gay, he would hit him in the head with a dollhouse. On Twitter. He said it on Twitter. Not even at a show. He said it on Twitter, like a joke on Twitter years ago. They found that. And the Academy said, hey, we're going to have you host the Oscars. Psych. No, it was the Grammys. He was going to host the Grammys. And they said, no, we can't do that now because you need to apologize for this. And Kevin was like, I can't apologize for that. It was a joke. I told a joke. I'm a comedian. I love my son. And if I hit him with a dollhouse, who put him in the dollhouse? It'd have been me. That was the kicker to it. See? Get it? Get it? They were like, no, we don't get it. Get out. And so Kevin Hart lost an opportunity to host the Grammys over a joke on Twitter. Joy Reid had her own blog site where she was making all types of homophobic comments in her blog about Democratic operatives. It was a Democratic Florida governor or something, whatever. Christie or something. Anyway, she was calling him miss. She was misgendering him and all this type of shit. And you know what she said? It wasn't me. That's why she got like Shaggy and she was like, it wasn't me. Somebody must have hacked. Well, Joy, your site is down. This is the Wayback Machine. The Wayback Machine takes pictures of the internet in a given time space, and then when you look for it, it is a copy of what appeared back in the day. It's like those Google Maps pictures you see people showing. They show you a house in 2011. It's 2:00 in the afternoon, and somebody's watering the grass. Like back at 2:00 in 2012, it was watering the grass, whatever. And you can go back and this is it in 2016. There is no grass. It's concrete. Oh, what happened to the neighborhood? See what happened? You know those pictures, they do this a lot on TikTok. Well, that's what the Wayback Machine does. It gives you the ability to look back in time. Joy Reid said she got hacked. Somebody hacked the archives of the Wayback Machine. That's where that came from because it couldn't have been her. So they let her get away with it. They let her keep a job. They let her keep her job. She cried a little like she did here. They let her keep her job. They gave her passes. She compared Trump's deportation policy to the Holocaust. There's such a thing as going too far. I don't even do that. I got an independent show, and you know what has never happened? I've never had anybody say, I said some shit like that. She compared Trump deporting people back to where they live, the Holocaust. MSNBC barely reacted. That's how bad it got. She blamed black women's low voter turnout on white women portraying America. Yeah, she blamed black women's low voter turnout on white women not voting for Biden. Instead of blaming Kamala. This is the extent of how far she was going to ride for the Democratic Party, which is truly her undoing. There had to be, I know it's a lot of black women out there that like Joy Reid. It has to be. Somebody got to like it. But that makes sense to you? Black women didn't vote for Biden because they are tired of carrying the water for white women. That just goes to show you Biden wasn't doing nothing for them because they weren't voting for him because of what he was doing for them. See what I'm saying? Or what his presidency was going to mean for their lives. Because if you're going to make my life better, I ain't voting to help this person or that person. I'm voting to help my family. I'm voting because this is what's best in the interests of my country and my family, the people I care about. I'm not doing this to curry nobody, no way. So that whole line of thought didn't make sense, but she got away with it. So MSNBC's been trying to clean house for a long time. This started before the 2024 election. Trump returned and forced media to rethink their strategy. What can they do? They all thought that Trump was going to jail, Johnson. You got to understand. They thought this guy was gone. They thought they never had to deal with him. Oh, my God. Steve Bannon's back. Trump is back. Who knew? MSNBC is preparing for the Comcast spinoff. They're worried about losing NBC News as a resource, so they're cutting what's not working. If Reid's show had been doing well, trust me, they would not be canceling it. So where will Joy go now? Now she's going to really fight for us. Yeah. She's going to do that same old thing where we talk about all the problems black people got. And then just when it's just about time to blame the Democratic Party, she's going to pull up and find a way to blame Trump. Just like Don Lemon does every night. He'll talk about all the bad things that are going on, but just when he could just go right there and say, the Democrats suck, he'll say, and Trump is evil. And somehow he'll blame Megyn Kelly. Yeah. As if Megyn Kelly let Joy Reid have it. And look, but I know for a fact, I got a feeling. Now, I don't know for a fact, but I got a feeling that when Megyn Kelly lost her gigs, because Megyn Kelly went Fox News, MSNBC, to her own stuff, or the Blaze, or whatever that is, I got a feeling Joy Reid said something. Or she laughed. And sometimes you ain't the only one get to laugh. You know what I'm saying? That happens. So will Joy Reid end up as YouTube or YouTube podcast or whatever, doing some type of, what is it? I think she already has her own, what's that thing everybody does? Substack. She has a Substack already, just like Costa. Or will she go for Roland Martin? Trying to keep the DNC talking points alive. Trying to get Patreon support like Tim Black, as if she wasn't making millions and millions of dollars a year. Corporate America does not care about loyalty. That don't exist. There's no corporate media does not care about loyalty. You serve a purpose, and when that purpose is gone, they throw you out. Who knew? It's just like any other job. It's just like any other job. This is not just about Joy Reid. This is about the decline of partisan, scripted corporate media. They will replace her with another Democratic mouthpiece. You best believe that's what they're going to do because that's what they need. They would have kept her if she was a better mouthpiece. People are waking up. This is why independent news matters. It matters what we're doing on this show. It matters that we're trying to do our best to call it out. We do not pull punches. I never told anybody to vote for Donald Trump. What I'm saying, but I'm very clear what I want, though. I'm very clear. I want you out of the burning house of the Democratic Party. Tim Black. The Tim Black Show gives America the raw truth it deserves, and my mission is to get Black people out of the burning houses known as the Democratic Party. That is our mission. I am straight up, I'm honest about that. If Joy Reid gave you a mission statement about what her show was about, what would it say? Would it say, I'm here to speak the truth and the truth that's going to save America, the truth that America needs, the raw truth of America, that what they deserve to hear, and that my mission is to get Black Americans out of the burning house, which is the Democratic Party? Would she say that? What would be her mission statement? I think a mission statement would go something like, I'm here to do whatever the Democratic Party want me to do in order to stop Donald Trump. That's what she was doing. For the most part, that's what her show was. Now, what happens when that person doesn't get weaker but gets stronger and bigger and gets the big job, and you sit there looking like, oops. After you talked all this smack for 3 years about he was never coming back, he was going to go to jail. People forget the segments. She sat her, Rachel Maddow, Shinseki, all these talking heads, man. All of them sat around for 3 years telling the audience Trump was a goner. She did the same thing. She did the same thing in 2018 or 2016, 2015. She laughed at the idea that Trump could get elected the first time. She laughed, said he was going to go to jail 2017, 2018. She laughed saying he was going to lose to Biden on the second run. And she was wrong both times. Is it possible getting it that wrong consecutively can make you lose the audience? She's not a weatherman. She's supposed to get the weather right sometimes. She got it wrong twice in a row. And she said it with her chest out. I mean, nobody was more brazen, more emphatic, more of an attack dog than Joy Reid. Nobody. And she was wrong. And I think she was a little bit embarrassed. Hell, more than a little bit embarrassed. I think she was humiliated. And with that came extra venom in Hitler, calling him Hitler, and deporting people who are here illegally as Holocaust, even though Biden had done the same thing. Biden deported a lot of people too. Y'all don't know that. He just let in a lot of people, but he deported a lot of people too. Joe Biden quietly has supported more people than Trump, obviously. And Obama was a hell of a deporter. Why was it when she was commentating when Obama was president? Why wasn't she saying that Obama, or why wasn't she saying that, Biden? Why didn't she say Biden was sending people to the Holocaust, putting people through a Holocaust when he was deporting them? Why is it just Trump? See, these types of things, I know when you actually believe that Trump is Hitler, maybe you don't care that words supposed to mean something, that they have definitions. But I think it matters. And at the end of the day, to try to wrap that in, the first thing she said was, what'd she say, folks? I talked about Trayvon Martin. Remember the time that I was talking about Black Lives Matter?
And thank you. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there. This is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen that in the end, thank you. Is that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not.
Yeah, but, Asian Americans got targeted for like 2 weeks. They got a hate crime bill like the third week. And it was random events. It wasn't even like, let me tell y'all something, man. This is why this is so disgusting. And when I see people that I don't know where they get their news from or what they believe, Johnson, if Asian Americans were being beat up and attacked like Black Americans have been beat up and attacked by racists, they'd have left and went back to their country. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It was a lot for them, but it was nothing like the numbers we put up. let's just put it this way. I mean, I don't even know Dennis Rodman was a good basketball player, one of the greatest centers, one of the greatest rebounders and blockers, and of any player ever played basketball in the NBA. Okay, we can admit that. That's Dennis Rodman, but he was not a prolific scorer. Okay, but so let's just say Asian attacks were to basketball where Dennis Rodman was the scorer. And what I'm saying was there wasn't big numbers going up, okay? But when Rodman, whatever he would hit a basket, it'd be a big deal because he didn't make baskets. And when he got to the free throw line and hit a basket, like, my God, that's how I was seeing somebody Asian getting beat up or getting punched or something. It was a big deal because it never happened. That's not what happened. Now, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, these are prolific scorers. That's black people. Black people, when it comes to getting your ass kicked, get beat up by racists, we're the Steph Curry of putting points up on that. You know what I'm saying? So when we get beat up, when we get you look at the numbers, I mean, it's like 10 times more black people get beat up by cops or get beat up by individual racists or whatever, these hate crimes. So when people say we need a black hate crime bill, that's what they're saying. Because the numbers is just so lopsided. Oh, 10-8 wasn't. Roland said it wasn't. Yeah. Roland's a liar. Roland knows that all bills are called one thing, but they actually are another thing. Like, the bill was, we're going to do this for justice and policing or some crap like that. But the force that pushed it through Congress was the Asian hate crime portion in it. And that was the impetus behind the bill. And that's why when it was debated on the floor, there were Asian American Congress people carrying the torch for it. Because that's why. And if you don't believe me, just go watch the tape. You'll see Miss Haru, I think it was the one out of Hawaii, was one of the sisters, Asian sister, talking about the need of the hate crime bill to protect Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. That's what it was. So I don't know why Roland felt like he had to perpetuate that story. Well, I know it is. You can't be honest. You gotta carry water for the Democratic Party. I'm getting off the topic. The point is, Joy Reid wants credit for everything except keeping the numbers up. And that's what it is. And everybody upset and crying. She wasn't there for you. She was there for that money. She was there for the paycheck. And that's what she got. And it's a cash curry business. And as long as you put asses in the seats, you can keep a job. And if the money they were paying her and the money that Acosta was making, I guess, the money that whoever else got let go, Lester Holt, I don't know why Lester left. Why Lester leave? Lester left for a reason. But none of these people are hurting financially. They'll be okay. It's our broke asses I'm worried about. I'm worried about you and I. I'm worried about what I'm going to do if I can't do this show. I'm worried about what you're going to do if you hurt your foot tomorrow. If you blow your back out, if you ain't got insurance. What you going to do? You know what? Won't nobody be crying a tear for you except people that know you and love you. Joy Reid, for some reason, has black people thinking she was riding for black people because she did a Black Lives Matter segment. Oh my God, amazing! Woo! I covered every day of the George Floyd trial because I cared about it. I cared about that story. I cared about it. I cared about Tamir Rice. I cared about all of the deaths that I covered. Botham Jean, I thought that was Botham John, who got killed in his own house. I was like, how could this, there were so many stories, man. I can't name them all right now. But that's not a reason. MSNBC didn't have you around because you did nice things. MSNBC had you there because you made money, okay? And you ran, and they fed. Another thing, last thing I'm going to say on this, guys, let me just say this. The entire cable news media structure has been eating off Trump for years, almost 10 years, man. Unprecedented. Trump saved cable news. All these people hate Trump. I don't know why. He's the only reason why they had jobs this long. But the tide changed. And all the people that ate off him from all these years now are not able to eat off of him like they did in the past, only because the Democrats got so bad and so lazy. So bad and so lazy that there really is no counter to Trump. You know? No counter. So that's what it is.
America, there's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears.
Yeah, she made a segment where she was talking about white people crying and stuff. Look, guys, look. I don't want to play it because she got some weird music in there. Somebody made it. I don't know who made it with the music. I ain't trying to get a copyright thing on it. But I'll say this, man. To say that she lost her job because she was black, yo, Joy Reid got away with saying a whole lot of stuff you couldn't say at your job. Okay? So I'm not saying those people are great people at MSNBC. I don't know none of them. I ain't carrying water for them. But yo, she was talking about white tears, white people crying. Like they can't cry. What you doing crying? Yo, like, this is crazy. But yeah, I feel you. It's what it is. Yeah, she went from, maybe she should go and like, I don't know, do some, I don't know, get down with Tariq Nasheed or something. Maybe he'll let her, I don't know, maybe, because she's so, she, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm thinking she want to be radical. Is that what she gonna do? Here's the deal, guys. At least Joy Reid gets to try something new, and she still got money. Yeah, she still got money. She's rich. She's still a multi-millionaire, and her name was still ringing out. And she could go, I bet you Tiffany Cross wish she was making Joy Reid money and got fired.